Will you lead me to paradise? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Khadija. So today is all thing Mexico. And if you know anything about Khadija, you know that I love myself some Mexico, and for good reason. It's a great place. So today I want to go over a few cities that will be perfect for a first time solo travel trip. So when you think Mexico, you think of cenotes and lagoons and zip lining and all of the things, right? And of course, beaches. But Mexico City is literally the opposite of that. It is the capital of Mexico. And when you hear capital, a lot of the times you do think city, right? But it is definitely that. It gives big city energy, big city vibes. What I like the most about Mexico City is that as soon as you step downtown, you are immersed in the culture. You get to see these huge Catholic churches, and if you want to go to restaurants, it reminds me a lot of downtown Chicago, where you can just kind of park and walk around Michigan Avenue. You can go to Zara and H&M and all of the things. It has a lot of stores that you would be accustomed to, rather, if you're from the States or the West. And also, it is slightly more elevated because it's more inland. So please bear that in mind when you're going, because it's not always going to be warm. But that may be a reason that that's the trip that you want to take, because a lot of people don't like the warm weather. A lot of people don't really care for beaches. They can do without it. So Mexico City would be a great destination. It has Didi. So Didi is like a local rideshare app. It has Lyft and Uber. And it also has public transportation. So I like Mexico City because it can be a great base. I actually, when I went, I took a bus and I went to Hidalgo, and I was able to go to Grutas de Teletango. I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly, but it's a beautiful place where it's up in the mountains and it's a natural spring. Like, it is a beautiful sight to see. I do have a full vlog that I'll insert, but Mexico City is one of those places where you can kind of have it all except a beach. And if you're okay with that, that's going to be the perfect destination for you. So next we have the Las Vegas of Mexico, and that's Cancun. I think that Cancun is probably the most popular destination when it comes to Mexico. That's what people tend to think about, and for good reason. I recommend this if you're looking for something that's going to be fairly easy on your first trip, just because once you can fly directly into the airport, and you'll take your private transportation, or you can take the bus depending on where your hotel is located. And of course, you can take an Uber, but just keep in mind that you have to kind of maneuver and navigate that, because they don't allow Ubers to come in. So you may have to walk outside of the airport, and that's not a big deal. It's really easy to do. So they'll, direct you on what to do about that. But anywho, but if you book, let's say, an all-inclusive resort, you can do everything on that resort, right? And you don't have to worry about safety and finding things to do. You can have your resort, your hotel set you up with excursions. And the nightlife in Cancun, it literally, that's why I say it's a Las Vegas. It is definitely the most party city in Mexico. Okay. Things stay open. Is always something to do when it comes to nightlife. So if you're looking for something where during the day you want to lay on the beach, have your all-inclusive, and do excursions, take a nap, and hit the club, Cancun is definitely going to be the best spot for you. But I also like it because, again, I'm all about a good base city. As a solo traveler, it's just as a traveler, period, I like to be in places where I have the flexibility to move around if I want to. So if you feel comfortable, you can go to Isla Hobosh, and it's really quiet. They don't even have cars on the island, and you just drive around little golf carts and things of that nature. Sandy white beaches. It's real tranquil and peaceful and calm. But you're like, you know what? This may be a little too quiet for me. You can hop on another ferry and go to Isla Mujeres, which is the island of women. Sandy white beaches, the best seafood that I've had in Mexico. Like, it is so good. Now, it is a little touristy, but I mean, we're on vacation, so we'll make the money back when we get home, right? But that's what I love about Cancun, because you have the option to move around. And then if you want to take the ADO, I love the ADO, you can head on over to Playa. So it's unlimited options, but you can also stay in Cancun and still enjoy your time. And of course, they have shopping. Oh, and if you're going to Cancun, you have to go to Taboo. Now they have one in Tulum, but the one in Cancun is so pretty. You can have your reservation set before you go. The food is great. The ambiance is great. I mean, the aesthetics, like it is the total package. So definitely put that on your to-do list if you're going to Cancun. So let's get into the next city. Since I already brought up Playa, we're going to go ahead and get into the next city, Playa del Carmen. I love Playa. I always go there anytime I go to Mexico just because it's a very lively city. And if you know anything about Playa, you know Fifth Avenue. So it's equivalent to like the Strip or Bill or Bourbon where you just walk around and you have your drinks. And it's one of those places, honestly, if you are a solo traveler, you would not feel alone because it's always so many people. They have street performers and they have the outdoor clubs. So music is playing, the food vendors, all of the good things, right? But I also, again, I like it because it's walkable. You really don't have to have a taxi and an Uber, but they don't have Uber. So they have InDrive. So that's an app that you can download beforehand. So InDrive works in Cancun, Tulum, and Playa. And so I also like it because it has the rooftop clubs. And if you want to go to the lounges, you can do that. Or if you want to go to beachfront and hear the ocean waves and have some good tacos, nachos, and a good tequila. It's such a good time. As well as you're always gonna have something to do. You don't have to plan like a whole elaborate day and you don't have to spend a lot of money. They have supermarkets where you can go and get your essentials, things of that nature. And the accommodations are going to be a little bit cheaper than we got in Cancun. So you get your little Airbnb, your hotel on Fifth Avenue or close by, and you can just walk and enjoy the city. But also, if you want to do excursions, that's going to be the place. Go to the cenotes and do the snorkeling and all of that good stuff, right? But if you want to hop on a ferry, the ferry is literally right on Fifth, just in walking distance from your accommodation. So if you want to go to Cozumel and go to a good not all inclusive, but it is all inclusive, like the beach clubs, Mr. Sancho's, and then there's another one, and you pay like a flat rate fee of like $60, and you could just sit on the beach and drink all day and eat. So that's also an option too. So the ferries, they run every 45 minutes and they're a little long, y'all. And just to tell y'all, if y'all gonna get on that ferry, do not pick that top one unless you have on long sleeves, hat. Just take my word of advice because you're gonna get sunburned. Oh, and they also have shopping. So they have an outdoor shopping center where you can just go to different stores like Victoria's Secret. They have Zara. No, yeah, they have Zara. And then they have just a number of stores. So as you can see, I'm excited because if you want to go, it's definitely going to be a good destination for your first trip. Last but not least, my personal favorite, Tulum. I go to Tulum anytime that I go to Mexico. That's my base city, and I just move around from there. I like Tulum because it's pretty laid back, it's pretty chill, but you still get to be on vacation. So if you want to, again, don't mess with the taxis. I don't recommend car rental, especially as a first-time solo traveler. But you can take InDrive and have them go to the beach. Or if your accommodation is closer to the beach, you can walk to the beach, right? Or take a bike or rent a scooter or ATV. It just gives you that jungle feel, but it's still just like, and speaking on that, they love some yoga and all that stuff. They have run clubs, gyms. So if you're into health and fitness, vegan options, vegan restaurants, even in the supermarkets. So that's one thing that I always tell people, that even though it may not be as lively as Cancun and Playa, if you're just looking to get away and reset, Tulum is my place that I go to. I just went there a few weeks ago. But also just keep in mind that it is spread out, so it's not as walkable as the other cities that I mentioned. But depending on where you stay, you can just have little things to do in that area, right? But one thing that I always advise people to do is go to Bacalar. I love going to Bacalar. I hop on the ADO. Now it is a little bit more pricey, maybe like $50 round trip, maybe a little bit cheaper if you get like certain times of the day. They're cheaper. The tickets are cheaper. They have air conditioning. They have TV. It's in Spanish. But if you were trying to work on your Spanish, it's a win-win. Get there, take your not an Uber. I keep saying Uber. You take your taxi, and you go to your accommodation, you wind down, and then you can just go to the lagoon. It's like the water, I mean, in certain areas, it's not like more than waist deep. So you can just float around the lagoons and just have some good seafood and have some drinks. And they have different beach clubs where you can just go and pay an entry fee, like $20 or whatever. And then they give you like a rental for a kayak that's included in the fee. You get the chair. So it's like you get that beach destination type of vibe, but not at the prices, right? It's going to be substantially cheaper than doing that in Cancun, Cancun, or even Playa. But again, I will remember, and if I forget and you're interested, I will leave the number for the Bacalar taxi because it's going to be cheaper to use the number that I'm going to give you than versus just catching a random taxi or whatever the case may be. So if you're feeling a little bit adventurous, you can actually get to Belize from Bacalar. It's going to take some navigating and moving around, but you have to take a bus, and another ferry. But if you're into it and hey, by all means. So I just wanted to make sure that I added that. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, we talked about everything. If you have any other questions, something you want me to elaborate on, or do other cities that I've been to in Mexico, please leave comments. All right, yeah, that's it, y'all. Until next time, I love y'all. Protect your energy, protect your peace. Bye.